What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Kirby Bro 89 coming at you with a new Lightsworn deck profile. It's a competitive one in today's format. I know a lot of people probably stop playing just because it's hard to win with it, but it's possible with the way that I run it. Before I get into the deck profile, just want to introduce my channel to you guys. All things Yu-Gi-Oh!, the trading card game in general, box openings, card discussions, deck profiles, all that good stuff. My archetype of choice is Lightsworns because I'm an aggressive player, and I want to keep this deck as competitive as possible until it's until it can't win anymore at all. So the tech cards that I use allow it to be competitive. So here it is. I'm just gonna get into it real quick. So we got Triple JD, the boss card of the deck. Obviously, it nukes the field. You need 4 different Lightsworns. Self-explanatory. Triple Lumina. I know some people cut it down to 2, but you need 3 because you want to open with this if you can every time, every game. Doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, you can win. Double rating. I know people that run 3. 3 is not necessary. You usually don't want to open with them. You can search them with charge, but most of the time I just kind of draw into them. Raiden is a great card because you mill 2 during your main phase and then 2 during the end phase, so you get 4 cards milled. And it's a 4-star tuner, so you have easy access to 7s and 8s. But I mainly use Raiden when I'm going for game or if I'm coming out of a bad situation. He makes that a lot easier. And then I also run double Lila. 3's too much. You don't need 3. Especially the way that I run my deck because I have other ways of stopping back row. So 2 is good. It's a plus because you get rid of back row and it mills for you too. So Lila's good. We all know what Lila does. My, I guess, tech that helps this format a lot is double Felice. I know a lot of people don't even like this card. They don't run it because it's not usable with solar recharge. If you mill it with charge, it doesn't work. But I run double Mathematician, and this is just a great card to have on the field. Open, you go first, 5 cards, summon Mathematician, go ahead and dump Felice, special Felice. Now there's no such thing as card advantage. When they draw into their 6th card, it's 6 for 6, y'all are even, so you're good to go there. And they have to make a decision. Do they run over your Mathematician and leave Felice, or do they run over Felice? And most of the time, a 2000 defense is not easy to get over. And then for my 1-ofs with my names, 1 Minerva, 1 Aaron, and 1 Wolf. And that's it. That's my Lightsworn name lineup. Just 7 different names. That's all you need. Anything more is not really necessary. And obviously, 1 Honest. Ooh, Ghost Rare. Nice, right? But yeah. That's my Lightsworns. And then I do run the Dragon Ruler variant, but a very small version of it. 1 Light Ray. 2 is too much. There's no need to run 2 because you don't want to clog your hand. But it's a good card to have. If you want to try 2, go ahead. I just found that 1 is a lot. 1 is more efficient. 2 Eclipse Wyvern. Yes, only 2. You really don't want to draw into this card. You want to either dump him with Chain or Mathematician or Foolish just to get him in there, but you don't necessarily want to draw into him. So 2 is good. Remember, it's all about numbers, and odds are if the 3rd one is still in the deck during endgame, you're not going to need him anyway. So it's just a wasted card, and you could use something else rather than having a 3rd Wyvern in the deck. And then I run 2 Dragon Rulers, 1 Blaster, obvious beat stick. You always need to run him. And my choice is Red Ox because I run double Mathematician and Glow Bulb as well. All 3 are Earth, so it gives me more options. My deck is really all about options. I want to have the ultimate amount of options for every situation to get me out of a bind. 1 BLS, obviously. Let's talk about the mat, right? I like BLS, probably my favorite card in the game. Double Necro Gardener. Three's too much. You don't need them. I prefer Necro Gardener over Rainbow Karibo because I like to protect my monsters. If I can protect Lumina from being destroyed, I'm good. I'll find a way to get Raiden in the grave and shenanigans after that. So I prefer Necro Gardener, but once again, that's up to you guys. Whatever you choose to play. Double Shadal Dragon. Probably the most broken card in the game. There's just so much you could do with this. With Vanity's emptiness running around, this is a must-have, especially with our milling effect. And if you draw into him, it's good too. Set him and go ahead and return a card. Vanity's monsters kills this deck. This is a great out to that. Double Mathematician. So I don't run 3 because you're more than likely going to mill it most of the time. But you want to draw into something that's going to help you mill first turn, or something that's not going to be a negative. That's not a Lightsworn in a way, I guess you could say. Double Mathematician because you could dump Felice, and that's a plus. Mathematician, you can dump Shadal Dragon if you need to get rid of something. But I only run 2 because I do run 1 Curry Bandit as well. Curry Bandit is a great card early game. But if I don't draw early game, it's not a waste, because if I need to come up out of a bind, I can still use them and see what happens. You can mill a Necro, you can mill a Dragon, you can mill a Felice. There's still a lot that you can mill where this is helpful. So I run 2 Mathematician, 1 Curry Bandit because 3 gives you more odds to draw an opening hand. And so I want to draw one of these opening hand every time. And then last monster would be Globe Bulb. They brought it back, so why not, right? It mills, it's a plus. With the Dragon Rules, you can make a level 8 Synchro. And now for my spells. So we got 1 charge. I wish they would bring this up. But maybe as our archetype starts to decline even more, they'll start helping us out and bringing these back. And triple solar recharge. Obvious, Lightsworns. I do run Foolish Burial. Yes, it's a 1-for-1, but you never know. Or not 1-for-1, I'm sorry. It's a -1 because you're sending this from your hand to grave, blah, blah, blah. But you never know when you need a Dragon Ruler in your graveyard. You never know when you need that 1 Wyvern or that 1 Lane in your graveyard to end the game. So I like to have this. And 1 Soul Charge because it's at 1. And it does change games. So I keep it in there. For my trap lineup, we have double Needlebug Nest. I'm not running 3. I'm actually contemplating very heavily of taking these 2 out. It speeds up the deck to a point, but my deck is more based on a little bit more control than most Lightsworn aggressive builds. So I'm thinking about taking these out, but as of right now, I'm running them, and it does work if you mill Shadal Dragon and whatnot. So it's definitely good. Give it a shot. I still like it. 1 Beckoning Light. You will draw into dead hands sometimes because you run so many big monsters and you run Wolf and double Felice. But you also run double Shadal Dragon. And you got to remember that you activate this and dump Shadal Dragon, you get to destroy something on the field. So that's always a plus. That's probably my biggest combo with Beckoning Light. Bottom line is this. If you draw into Beckoning Light early game, you should not lose. With all the milling that you do, even if JD's in there, Light Ray's in there, whatever's in there, you should find a way to win. So this card is still a good card, even at 1. And then I run double Breakthrough Skill. This is an unbelievable card, this format. You have to run it, I think. It should be a staple if it isn't, but I know in our deck it should be because we mill so much. This is just a great thing to mill, especially against those Vanities monsters. This has got me out of tough situations so many times. This has won me games. Breakthrough, Winda, Breakthrough, Vanity's Fiend, whatever it might be, this wins games. And now I remember when I was talking about Lila and how I have different ways of stopping back row. So I'm not playing your typical 1 or 2. I'm actually maining 3 Decree. Now, before you fly off the handle and think that this is a bad thing, it's not. You draw into this, you will win games, and the game's over. Think about what game, think about what decks you're playing against right now. Burning Abyss, trap heavy. Cliff Forts, skill drain kills you. You can't do anything while skill drain is on the field. That's a plus. Satellar and I still play a bunch of traps. The only thing that it doesn't hurt so much is Shadal's. But even if you can draw this and stop them from playing shadow games, that's a plus on your end. So I like maining 3, and it has won me so many games. So I say give it a shot, and you never know. And then now to get onto my extra deck, I don't run any level 3s. I don't run that many ranked monsters, honestly, or Exceeds monsters. But for my rank 4s, it's Laval on Chain, Excite Knight, Castell, and 101. Those are the only 4 level 4s that I run. The one that I use the most is Chain. These are all situational. They rarely ever come out, but they're there just in case. For my 7s, we have 1 Draco Sack and 1 Big Eye. Since I only run two Dragon Rulers, I only need 1 of each. These rarely ever come out because most of the time I'm synchro summoning with the Dragon Rulers to get out Spark Dragon just to keep everything on the field. But once again, all situational. And then 1 Felbrand. If you're playing Lightsworns, you gotta play him. You do not want to mill out. You don't want to lose because you have to mill 8 cards and you have 7 left in your deck. So, and plus this is a good card to stop certain decks. And now for my synchros, so I do play level 7s because we can make it. It's very easy access to make level 7s. So Arcanine Magician, obvious, great card if you can afford to get it. I would run it. Ancient Sacred Wyvern. This card wins games. I don't know how else to explain it. This card is OTK'd so many times. When I bring it out, people are like, oh, it's a 2100 attack. Enter battle phase, attack, game. They don't bother to read it. If you're a Lightsworn player, you need to play this card. And I've actually gotten to the point where I actually tell people about the card when I summon it. Just so to be fair, because if they want to affect Valor main phase, go ahead. You know, I don't want to win by cheating. I want to make sure that you guys know what it does. So this thing is an unbelievable card. Look it up. If you're playing Lightsworns, if you can make level 7 easily like we can, this should be in your deck. JD, this on the field, that's all you need. 1 Black Rose, which I barely use now ever since I started running Wyvern, because you have so many plays with this that this is not necessary as much, but it's always there if needed. 1 Michael, obviously. Michael is a great card. But don't overlook his second effect, where when he's sent to the graveyard or destroyed, you can recycle your Lightsworn monsters. If you have, 8 different Lightsworn monsters in your graveyard, you need 4 different names. So send the other 3 back. Send the 3 Lumina back into your deck and hope to draw it. And you gain 300 for each one that is sent back. So this is a great card. Always keep that in mind. And I only run 2 level 8 synchros. Talked about Stardust Spark earlier. Great card. This, Royal Decree, JD. Next turn, that's game. They're not going to find a way to get over that. And then 1 Scrap Dragon. For those situations where you just need to destroy something, this is there. If you need to destroy a Decree, go ahead, scrap, do your thing. 1 Leo as my 1 level 10. Burning Abyss has a hard time getting over this, so I do play it for that reason. And 1 Star Eater, because it's Star Eater. You never know when you need that. And then when you don't want to mill out. So that's pretty much what Star Eater's for. I rarely bring them out. And now for my side deck. My side deck really focuses on 2 main decks. They focus on Burning Abyss and Cliff Force. That's it. Those are the 2 main decks that pose the most problem towards this deck. Because remember, you main Triple Decree. So you don't have to worry about losing game 1 just to go into game 2. You can still win game 1 against any one of those decks the way that my deck is constructed. But just in case you have to side, which you will, 3 Mischief of the Yokai. A lot of people don't know what this does. It has a great effect. I'll just go ahead and read it. Each face-up monster on the field loses 2 levels until the end phase. You can remove from play this card from your graveyard to select 1 face-up monster and reduce its level by 1 until the end phase. So, it's like a breakthrough skill, but it does not have a restriction. I repeat, it does not have a restriction. So I activate it, reduce levels, whatever, whatever. Next turn, okay, it's your opponent's turn now. They try and do some shenanigans, banish it. You banish it, target one level. You can use it on your opponent's turn because it does not state that you cannot. Breakthrough skill states that you cannot use it during your opponent's turn. Skill successor states that you cannot use it. So you got to look at it that way. If it doesn't give you a restriction, there is no restriction. This is a great card. This stops Burning Abyss in their tracks. They can't do much. You got to think about it. You side in 3, you get to use this card 6 times. And if you mill it, it's not a bad thing. And then double Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This would be once again against Shaddolls or Burning Abyss if needed. And yes, a third breakthrough skill because those Vanities monsters suck. So yes, I do run another breakthrough skill against Burning Abyss to throw the third one in the deck. And then now we're pretty much getting into Cliff Force. 1 Time Space Trap Hole, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, and 1 Solemn Warning. Running all 3 allows you to draw 1 at least during the game. So you want to draw 1 and don't rush to use it. Just wait for the right time and they'll have to scoop. 1 Fairy Wind, only 1 because I main Decree, and since they still play Skill Drain, I still want to main Decree because you never know when you're going to need it, and I can't find more space in my side deck to put in another Fairy Wind because I would still want Decree just because they can activate Skill Drain, and then you're screwed. You can't play around Skill Drain in this deck. Triple Spell Shattering Mirror, my bad, Spell Shattering Arrow. Great card. I know people are probably going to say that this doesn't stop them. I can tell you that it does. Because if you can keep hitting it and you get rid of their resources, it's not going to be that easy. You got to remember, they still start off with 5 cards in their hand. They can keep adding with Tool, but if you keep busting them, it's going to be hard for them to get around it. And they can't sometimes. And double MST. And that's self-explanatory. So that's pretty much it. So that's my deck. If you guys have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I do want to talk to you guys. I want to get to know more people and see where we can take this channel. So thank you guys. I appreciate you for watching.